Good morning, everyone. First, I'd like to welcome everyone to the Introducing Expert Profiles webinar. My name is Mark Grondin, and I'll be your moderator for today's webinar. We'll get started in just a minute, but first, let's review a few housekeeping items. On the right side of your screen, you'll see a chat window. That's where you can ask questions that you might have for our moderators about expert profiles. We will be monitoring all of the questions, and at the end of the webinar, our presenters will answer as many of the questions as possible. If we don't get to your question, we will follow up with you via email to get you an answer. Second, we're recording today's webinar, so if any of you have to leave early, don't worry. We'll make the recording available to all registrants within the next 48 hours. Today's webinar presenters are Experts Exchange Senior Corporate Marketing Specialist Jen Prentice and Experts Exchange expert Jim Dettman. Jen Prentice joined Experts Exchange team in 2009 and has worked extensively on developing site content during her tenure with the company. If you've written articles, produced videos for Expert Exchange, you've probably talked with Jen in the process. Jim Dettman has been a member of Experts Exchange for nearly 13 years, answering questions on Microsoft Access and serving as a topic area advisor. Jim has over 26 years of experience designing and developing business applications and currently owns his own consulting business in upstate New York. We also have our Senior Information Architect, Sina May, available for questions. Sina designed the Expert Profile System. To start us off, Jen is going to walk you through the new features of the Expert Profile, including an on-screen demonstration of the features. Then we'll turn the presentation over to Jim to talk about usage of the new profiles for Experts Exchange experts. At the end of the webinar, Jen, Jim, and Sina will answer your questions. So without further ado, I'm going to hand the webinar over to Jen to officially introduce Expert Profiles. Jen?
Hey everyone, I am Jen Prentice. Thank you guys so much for attending the webinar, and thank you, Mark, for that great introduction. As Mark said, I've been with Experts Exchange for almost 5 years, and over the course of my tenure, I've had the opportunity to meet and talk with hundreds of members of our expert community. And when I ask them why they participate on Experts Exchange, I usually get a very similar answer from all of them. They say that being a member of the Experts Exchange community and answering questions and writing articles on Experts Exchange has really helped them grow their technology skill set and advance their career. And so we tried to keep that in mind whenever we were designing expert profiles. We really took that feedback into account and wanted to give experts a way to showcase the work that they do not only on Experts Exchange, but also outside of the site. Our new expert profiles really empower you, whether you're an expert on Experts Exchange or you have a lot of expertise external to Experts Exchange. It really empowers you to quickly and easily publicize your technical expertise to the world. With expert profiles, you can enhance your professional reputation through making sure that the work that you're most proud of, both on Experts Exchange and off the site, like I said, is front and center on your profile. Expert profiles also make job searching easier. We give you an easily shareable portfolio of your expertise, so when you're out there looking for a job, you can kind of send your Experts Exchange profile as a resume. It also helps you find consultants and consulting work faster. Whether you're looking to land a few new consulting jobs or you need to find a consultant to assist your business, some of the new profile search features that we're going to walk through today, they'll really help you find people with the right expertise or help people find your expertise faster. And finally, the new expert profiles, they can improve your wage and rate negotiations. Maybe you're not looking for a new job, but you are hoping to get a promotion or a raise at your current one. And so sharing your expert profile with your boss is really a great way to prove your value to your employer. To make all of these benefits a reality, we've incorporated a number of new features into our expert profiles, including a one-click LinkedIn import. If you're like me, you have multiple online profiles and you find it time-consuming and frustrating when you have to go through and update each one of those profiles after some sort of significant career event occurs. With our LinkedIn import feature, you can click one button and import most of your LinkedIn information into your Experts Exchange profile. That's one of the coolest features in my opinion. The other new feature that we added is customizable avatars and the ability to add your real name to your expert profile. You are all probably familiar with the EAPL avatars that have been gracing your profiles for years. We've had them for quite a while. Now you can actually choose your own avatar. If you like the EAPL, you can keep it, but if you want to put a real picture of yourself or something else to represent you as your profile picture, you can do that now too. You can also display your real name instead of just your Experts Exchange username in your profile, and that's going to also aid with the credibility, because when you're sending your Experts Exchange profile to a potential employer or even to your current boss, if you don't use your real name on your profile, they might not know who this username is that you're sending to them. So real names actually allow people to know that it is in fact you that they're looking at. The third feature that we've added is a more robust search capability. The new profile search capabilities allow you to search for people's specific expertise and certifications. You can search people's actual profiles. So whether you're hoping to be found by folks looking for potential employees or consultants, or you're looking to find an employee or a consultant of your own, these search features will really aid your efforts. The fourth feature that we've added is the ability to display industry certifications. So you've always had the ability to show what certifications you've earned on Experts Exchange on your profile, but now you can upload and showcase other industry certifications on your Experts Exchange profile. Things like Microsoft MVP recognition, SQL Certified Expert certification, or any other recognition that you're proud of. And then the fifth feature that we've added is this personalized shareable URL. Rather than sending a colleague, a boss, or a potential employer a URL with a string of 87 different numbers and letters put together, you can actually create a personalized shareable URL to send to them. So now that we've covered some of the features and benefits of the new expert profiles, I'd actually like to walk you all through how to use each of the features that we've just discussed. Before we get started, however, I do want to go over one thing. If you'll notice, there are two versions of the expert profile. There's the logged in and the logged out version of the profile. On the logged in version, which I'm showing you my logged in Experts Exchange profile right here, on the logged in version of the profile, you will actually see something called achievements probably at the bottom of the logged in version. Some of you may be wondering what these achievements are or how they got there. Achievements recognize non-points-based milestones that you've hit on Experts Exchange, like completing a certain number of searches or asking a certain number of questions. Some of you may like the fact that you see these achievements in your profile. Some of you may not. Great news for those of you who do not like the achievements section. First of all, if you are sharing your profile, you're sharing your profile in the logged out state, and achievements do not show up on the logged out version of your profile. Achievements only show up on the logged in version. Second of all, we are actually working on a new feature that should be released in the next few weeks that will allow you to turn off achievements in the logged in version of your profile. So if you really don't like achievements, don't worry. You're going to be able to turn them off altogether. But don't worry if you're sending the logged out version of your profile, which is the version of your profile that you'll be sending with that personalized, customized URL that we talked about. You won't be sending a potential employer or a colleague or a boss anything about your achievements, because achievements really are something that only people who are in the Experts Exchange community would understand. So it wouldn't make sense to someone external to the site. So we just want to make that clear, that if you're sharing your profile with people, they're not seeing achievements, and if you don't like achievements in the next few weeks, you are going to be able to turn off achievements altogether. So let's get started with the demonstration portion. The first feature that I want to show you guys is how to import that LinkedIn profile. Editing and updating your profile has to be done from the logged in state. So you do want to make sure that you're logged into Experts Exchange before you make any edits to your profile. Once you log into your profile, if you don't even know how to navigate to your profile from Experts Exchange, when you're on the home page, you'll see this over here called the Workspace. And you see a Profile tab on your Workspace. If you click on your username on the Profile tab, it will take you to your expert profile. So I am on my profile. My name is Jen HP on Experts Exchange, and I want to import my LinkedIn profile to my Experts Exchange profile. So I am going to click this button right here. And in clicking this button right here, it will allow me to import my LinkedIn profile. You do have to make sure that your pop-ups are not blocked. So you go up here, you make sure that you allow pop-ups from Experts Exchange in order to import your LinkedIn profile. So I've allowed the pop-ups. I'm importing my LinkedIn profile. You can see that it's going to ask me for access to my LinkedIn profile. So I'm going to allow access. It's syncing up with my LinkedIn profile. It's going to import my basic information, my About Me section, my experience, my education, and my languages. If I've already added some of that information to my current Experts Exchange profile, I can exclude that information. So say that I don't want to add languages. I've already updated that. I can just click that button and exclude it, and then I hit Import Info from LinkedIn. My LinkedIn import is successful, and as you all can see here now, my profile looks a lot more updated. You can see the things that I have on my LinkedIn profile are now the same things on my Experts Exchange profile. So it's updated my work experience, it's updated my education. It didn't update my languages, although if I'm being honest, I only speak English. So it didn't update my languages because I told it not to. But now I have a much more robust profile. So that is how you do the LinkedIn import. Like I said, you can choose to exclude or include any information from the LinkedIn import that you would like to. The second thing that I want to walk you all through is the top contributions section. You've probably noticed that some new stats and activity lists are showing up on your Experts Exchange profile these days. In the top right corner, you will see your quick stats like certifications, accepted solutions, and articles published. So if I click on articles published right here, it's going to take me to the articles published section of my profile. It shows which articles I've written and when. It gives me a detailed list of that. And those also show up on the History tab of your profile. If I go back here to the About section, I'm going to go back up to my profile. You can see I don't have any expert certifications, but many of you have quite a few expert certifications. If you clicked on that, it would show you a list of all of your expert certifications. If you scroll a little further down the page, you will also see a list of top contributions that you've made on Experts Exchange on the right side of your profile. By default, Experts Exchange chooses the top 5 questions that you've answered and the top 5 articles that you've written and lists them in the top contributions list. You can actually filter that list. You just go to the drop-down beside all contributions. You can filter that list by articles. You can filter it by questions, or I don't believe I have any video tutorials, but I could filter it by video tutorials as well. Let's go back to all contributions, though. You can change the top contributions that show up in your list to reflect what you think are your top contributions on the site. So if I want to change some of my top contributions, all I would need to do is just do an edit, and you'll see that it's showing me a list of my accepted solutions. And then if you scroll up a little bit more, you can also go here and select articles. Say that I want to input a new article that's not currently showing up into my top contributions section. If I would like to search for all the articles that I've written, I can see on the list that it returns down here that using your BlackBerry for the novice smartphone user already shows up in my top contributions list right here. But say I want to get rid of that. I can either deselect it on this list, and it's been removed from my top contributions. If I want to add socializing my EE articles on Facebook to my top contributions list, I just click that button, and it shows up in my top contributions list here at the bottom. But say I want it to show up further up on the list. There's actually a drag and drop feature that you can use to make sure that the contributions that you are most proud of show up at the top of the list. You can search for top contributions here, and it will populate a list below. Once you're done with everything, you just click the Done button, and your top contributions will be changed in a way that that highlights really what you do and your expertise on the site. So to delete something without actually going in and using this interface over here, you can do a quick delete by just clicking that button over there. So now I'm going to click Done. I've edited my top contributions. There you go. The third thing that I want to go over is how to change your avatar. Since I already updated my LinkedIn profile, it actually input my picture and my real name for me here. But if you didn't want to import your LinkedIn profile, but you did want to change your avatar and your real name on Experts Exchange, you would simply click on the settings widget to the left of the eagle or whatever photo you have selected on your profile. And then you would choose where you would like to grab a photo from. Once you choose that file, you can update it and it will input a new picture there. If you want to edit your current photo, you can go there, click on the Edit Photo button. If you want to remove your current profile picture, you can do that as well. Click on the Settings button to hide the Edit Profile picture, the Edit Avatar picture again. If I want to update my real name, so say I want to be Jennifer Prentice instead of Jen Prentice, all I have to do is click on the Edit link beside my real name. Then I go in here. I would say Jennifer Prentice, click Save, and there you go. Now you see Jennifer Prentice, but I want to go back to Jen because that's how most of you know me. So now I'm Jen again. It's actually quite simple. And I think that displaying your real name and your real photo or a photo that represents you is extremely important, especially because Google and other search engines are placing such an emphasis on authorship these days and having an understanding of who is actually producing content and doing things online. So your Experts Exchange profile is, going to show up in search engines, and the things that you do on Experts Exchange shows up in search engines. So it's important that it links back to who you are. So those two features really help people identify who you are on Experts Exchange. When you log into your Experts Exchange profile, you're taken to the About tab right here by default. However, if you want to search your profile or someone else's profile, you need to click on the History tab right here. And once you're in the History tab, you'll see a number of options on the right side of the screen over here for browsing and searching through people's profiles. Right now I'm just searching through my own profile, but I could go and search someone else's profile as well. I can choose from questions, articles, projects, things like Bug Finder, or video tutorials if I want to search by those in the content types. So right now I would like to search questions. And I'd like to search questions that I have asked. So under content types, to search questions that I've asked, I would click the Question Radio button. And then to search only questions that I have asked, I'm going to select the Submitted By radio button. And I'm going to refine my search. And right here, you see that it returns a list of all of the questions that I have asked on Experts Exchange. If I want to go through and filter by search through all content types and all content types that I've commented on, I can do that. I can refine my search, and it gives a list of things that I have commented on Experts Exchange. I can also refine my search by different topic areas and by different tags. And that's assuming that you have a really good memory and you know what topic areas you've posted things in and you know how you've tagged things. But the search features, the profile search features are only going to continue to grow over the next few months. We're going to add more capabilities to search through members on Experts Exchange. So that's definitely something to keep looking out for. The last thing that I want to tell you all about is the customized URL. We are currently working on a one-click button that will be similar to the LinkedIn import button and will allow you to share your custom URL with the world. If you look down at the bottom of your profile, you probably do see the ability to share a link to this page. If you click that button, it will return a string of weird characters, much like a shareable URL on Twitter or Facebook. But what I'm talking about is creating an actual customized URL that you type in to send to people. So if I want to send someone my Experts Exchange profile, I'm going to type in www.e-e.com members/GenHP, because GenHP is my username. It is case sensitive, so you do need to remember that. And at the end of the URL, you want to do .html. Right there, that should send you to my Experts Exchange profile. We will send a link, an example link out to all of you after this webinar so that you know how to type in the customized URL. And as I said, we are working on an easy one-click feature for shareable URLs so that you won't have to manually type things in. But for right now, you have to manually type in your profile, but it does look nice, and it is a quick and easy way to send things to a boss or a potential employer. So now that I've talked a little bit about Experts Exchange profiles, I think that it's really important to hear from an expert. And we have Jim Dettman on the line. He's going to talk a little bit about how he uses Experts Exchange profiles. I'm going to turn the webinar over to Jim and let him talk about his expert's profile and how he plans to use it. So Jim, go ahead.
Thanks, Jen. Hi, everybody. I hope everyone is having a great day today. I'd like to take a moment and talk about being an expert first, and then how your new profiles fit into that. Why are we experts? Well, for most of us, it starts off with just a desire to help others and share knowledge. But you're also helping yourself as well. By answering questions, you are exposed to a lot of different situations and problems. Besides the obvious fact that you learn how to solve a specific problem, answering questions helps you in a number of other ways, such as learning to write and communicate more effectively. In the course of writing comments, you learn to express your thoughts and ideas so that others understand them clearly and more easily. You learn to think in new directions by seeing how others approach problems. You've all heard about getting stuck in a rut, and many of us do when it comes to problem solving. Learning to problem solve more effectively by learning to listen and being able to ask the right questions. And the list goes on. So in short, you are not only helping someone else when you answer questions, which feels pretty darn good at times, but you're helping yourself as well. There's also the feeling you get when you become part of a community and gain the respect of others. You may have heard the saying that no man is an island. It seems to be in our nature to want to be part of something that's simply more than oneself. So the new profiles. The way that happens is by people getting to know you, and a way to achieve that is through your Experts Exchange member profile. However, first and foremost, since Experts Exchange is primarily a tech-focused Q&A site, it's important that your profile should reflect that and be orientated towards your professional expertise and achievements. This is my profile here in the logged in version. The new profiles accomplish this by highlighting your past experience, awards, and other achievements, certifications, education, and it's all here in a nice summary format. That's probably the #1 thing I like about the new profiles. I also like that you now have control over your avatar, and we've gotten rid of the EE people. You can now put your own real picture there if you like, and you also can control your display of your name, what you see when you post a comment. I've wanted to change Jim Dettman to Jim Dettman for years and years, and now I can finally do it. So I'm not sure about you guys, but I always find it nice to know who I'm talking with. So I think this makes it a little bit more personable and gives you more of a connection to the people that either you're answering questions or asking questions of. The other thing I like is that you now have a nice one-page snapshot of what you do on Experts Exchange. I like this feature up here in the upper right-hand corner. It gives me a nice summary of everything that's going on. There's some other charts and graphs as well that you can look at and tell you, basically what you've been doing on EE. So it's really nice to see that. And that tells people who you are and what you do. That may or may not be important to you, but it is important to other members and possibly prospective employers, clients, or others who may be interested in your expertise and knowledge. So you really should fill out as much of your member profile as possible. I don't know about you guys, but one of the jobs I really detest is sitting down and updating my resume. Well, guess what? Here's a nice summary resume done for you. You just have to fill in the blanks. I myself maintain a LinkedIn profile as well, like Jen, and one of the things I will be doing is using that import feature on a consistent basis. I plan to keep my LinkedIn profile up to date and then use the import feature to keep my Experts Exchange profile fresh. And once again, here's where that import button is, that one click, and you're there. This will ensure that I give a clear and consistent picture of who I am and what I do. Also, since being part of Experts Exchange community stands for something outside of EE itself, and their profiles are now more professional, I won't hesitate to point someone to my Experts Exchange profile. And the new personalized URL feature makes that very easy to do. And I will be using that a lot. I plan on adding it to all my email and correspondence that I send out. In fact, being part of Experts Exchange in terms of belonging to something more than just EE is in large part what led to my becoming a Microsoft MVP for Access. As part of that, I need to requalify every year, and now with stats and certifications being so handy, plus the search features, it's just going to make that job so much easier for me. So to sum it up, using your Experts Exchange profile is a great way to let people know who you are and become part of the Experts Exchange community. And with that, it's back over to Mark.
All right, thank you, Jim. So we've had a few questions come in, and any of you attending can ask questions at any time in that question box you see on your screen. So I'm just going to go ahead and start getting these questions over to our presenters. So the first one we got, and that's probably the best one for Sina, would be, was looking at the technology certifications and awards and noticed that some of mine are missing as a selectable option. Is there any easy way for me to manually add one?
Hello, everyone. So on the technology certifications, there isn't a way to manually add them at this time, but if you have a certification that you'd like to add, I'd suggest getting in touch with our customer support department by email at customer_support@expertsexchange.com and emailing them what certification you'd like to add, and I can make sure that gets added in one of our releases.
Great. The second question we had was, again, around specifics on the profile. What was the metric for determining the top 5 solutions? Was that views?
Yes, it was.
Excellent. Third one is a little bit longer regarding the URL. Again, probably for Sina. I'm puzzled because you stated earlier that you could add your name for your new possible boss or CV, but the URL generated to send people still references the old nickname, which could be something like Donald Duck, which does not look professional. This seems a bit of a contradiction. Can you speak to that?
Yes, I can. We had to go with a username because we knew that would be unique. There is a possibility that in the future we could do a more personalized vanity URL where you could actually enter what you wanted to, but this was the quickest way to know that all members would have a unique URL at the time that the profiles were released.
Great. The next one was more of a comment, which was, I love the EEPL, or EE people. The question, I guess, out of that might be for Sina, are they going away, or are the EEPL here to stay?
What we did with the profile rollout was anybody who had created an EPOL, we went ahead and created a JPEG of the EPOL for them and placed it as your avatar. As long as you don't remove the EPOL from in the edit avatar process, it will remain on your account.
Excellent. Okay, we have a few more questions. If any of you have more questions, feel free to type them into the box. The next question is, again, for Sina, will the expert profile show up in searches, for example, on Google or Bing?
Yes, with the new profiles, we have decided to index any user's profile who has filled out their About section or who has an EE certification. It'll probably take a while for those to show up just because the indexing takes a while to go through on the search engine side, but we do expect those to show up in search results.
Excellent. Got another question here. How are you validating third-party certifications like Microsoft or Citrix or CCNA? I can add any certificate.
Indeed you could. I think it would probably be pretty apparent quickly when you're answering questions if you were not honest about a certification that you'd added. But one of the things that we've added in the technology certifications area is the opportunity to give a URL proving that you've earned that certification. So in the case of Jim's profile, you can see that he's a Microsoft MVP and he's included his URL. So if you click on that, it can actually take you to his MVP page. And so in the cases where you have a certificate where you do actually have something that you can reference to prove that you did in fact earn that certification, we've given you a way to do that.
Excellent. The next question I had is actually for Jim. Jim, can you give me an example of how you see using this profile in your normal business life?
Well, first of all, I would, as I said, send out that personalized URL as a tagline in my email messages, just like I would for LinkedIn or my Skype address or anything like that. It's cheap advertising, you know, it's free. All you need to do is fill out the profile. I also have the intention of redoing my business cards and referencing EE on those cards. So when I hand cards out, people can visit my profile there or on LinkedIn, and I think that'll be probably as far as I'll go with it right off. There may be other ways I can find to leverage my EE profile in the future, and if I can, I certainly will.
Excellent, Jim. I think there's a follow-up question on that one. Is there anything that worries you about, you know, providing your expert profile that you've been concerned about when thinking about this?
No, not really. You know, some might point to saying, well, you only have an associate's degree, or you only have this, or you don't have that. I think what the profiles do is really highlight what you do have. It brings attention to the things you have earned and achieved, and you should be recognized for that. I don't have any qualms about anybody looking at my EE profile.
Excellent. Okay, this is a more detailed one probably for Sina. Can people search for me and find me on the Experts Exchange website? For example, is this only by seeing a solution that I provide or an article I write, or what kind of search is available now and what will be available and when?
So right now, you won't be able to search for members. The profile will primarily be accessed by people selecting your link, say if you commented in a question that they posted or something of that nature. But we are working on a feature right now where you will be able to search the entire member base. So within the next few months, hopefully you'll be able to find other users in your area with the same jobs as you, even search for users with specific certifications.
All right, and Sina, when do you expect that to be available?
It's currently in development. I know it'll take a few months because it's a really big feature, but I should certainly hope it's available by April. But that's just
in the next month.
Yeah.
All right, this one's maybe for Sina or for Jen. It's a request. Can you give me the syntax of the short URL again?
Sure. This is Jen here. I can give that to you. It's www.e-e.com/members/whatever your EE username is, and that is case sensitive, and then .html. So if you look up here, Sina's showing her screen, and she has Jim's profile pulled up, and Jim is actually, she has Jim's shared profile pulled up. So you can do e-e or experts-exchange.com/members/Jim J. Dettman, or your Experts Exchange username.
Excellent. I also typed that into the chat area, so if any of you want to copy and paste that, you can do it from there. Looks like that's the end of our questions. If any of you have any more questions, you can type them in now. If not, looks like we are done. I will want to say thank you for attending from us at Experts Exchange, and of course thank you, Jim, for presenting. I hope you all have a great day.